Let's have a look at some of my gloves, shall we? Because why else do you people follow me? Um, yeah, this is the current collection. I think I might have another pair or two in the car or at some of the facilities where I coach. Couple things to know is that a lot of these gloves aren't really usable anymore. Some of them are over 10 years old. And another thing I want people to know is that I give away a lot of gloves. I know it looks like I'm a hoarder here, but I get a lot of free gloves from Adidas, who, when I was at NC State, was our equipment supplier. I get gloves from startup brands who ask me to give them feedback. And generally, what I do after doing that is find a good home for those gloves. The club I coach in has a lot of kids that are on need-based scholarships. The parents can't really afford to keep them in a regular supply of gloves, and I know who those kids are, and I make sure they get gloves. So that being said, let's take a look at some of the highlights. I got quite a few Ullsport replicas from the classic days of my youth over here. Some of them are official re-releases from Ullsport, like the 040 here, the 034 here, the 031 there, which of course the original was my favorite glove as a kid. These two are pimps, done by Basti Selke over in Germany. Some of you know his work. If you don't, look him up on Facebook. And one of the things I find interesting as the years go by is the way some gloves hold up and others don't. So I have two pairs here of the Sells Comfort Contour. This was a big favorite of mine in the mid-2000s when I started playing again. I think it's a 2007 or 2008 glove. And it's pretty easy to tell just by the look that this pair on the left is literally still usable. The latex is really soft. There's no yellowing, there's no brittleness, there's no drying, there's no discoloration. And the pair on the right here are staying in this glove bag because they won't actually come out. They have gone completely yellow and brittle and dry, and they are sticky. They're sort of stuck to the inside of the bag, and there's really no reason for me to try and get them out of there. The reason for this is that I stopped using these at some point as they got a little worn, got a new pair here, and these never saw the light of day again. And it seems for me that keeping a glove socked away somewhere out of the sunlight, that doesn't seem to work. What works for me is taking a glove like this out. If you haven't worn it in a while, taking it out and just doing some light handling with it, handling a ball around the house or just taking a few shots with it, just to sort of keep a little bit of micro abrasion happening with the palm, moistening the palm, and keeping the glove usable. If you just pack it away, it seems to go brittle and yellowed. There's some other examples I have of that happening. So this is a pair of Ullsport negative cut chimeras that I got from Greg Phillips, and I believe these were actually a Bundesliga endorsees gloves for a while, and they've gone completely yellow and brittle and dry. And again, that's because at some point I stopped using them and I put them away, and I just didn't really do anything else with them at that point. Other gloves that are equally old that I sort of kept using, here's two great examples. The Selsport ProFlex Interna. I absolutely love this glove. This glove is at least 10 years old. I think this is a 2007 model. It's internal latex roll finger. And this pair in particular right here, I could wear again today in a match easily. I know it doesn't really translate well to video, but this latex is as soft as brand new. This pair here is in still very, very good condition. It's just a little bit older. It's the pair that got worn more frequently, playing on turf up in New York a lot. But the latex is still soft. It's just discoloring a little on the backhand. But again, I can't stress enough that I could wear this glove today, as I could with the Ultraflex Contour. Another glove that I really loved, and I've sort of just kept using these. You know, now, as I'm mostly coaching these days and not playing a lot, my gloves don't really take an enormous amount of wear. The kind of handling you do as a goalkeeper coach is actually perfect to extend the life of a glove. It doesn't really put much abrasion or wear on the surface, but it just keeps them exposed to the elements and moisture in a way that seems to sort of keep the glove alive for a while. So what else do we have? I mentioned Adidas. I get these Adidas gloves when I was at NC State, and honestly, I'm not the biggest fan. I think they're overpriced for what you get. I do have a soft spot for these because I got them personalized. That's Blake was my first dog, and Bryce is this guy here that's been trying to interrupt the video. My buddies from the Glove Bag, Simon and Greg, started this company, Cut Goalkeeping, and they made a couple of excellent pair of gloves. I really like the looks and the feel of this glove. it's a really tough gig running a glove company, and it turned out to be too much for the return, but they got a really good glove out of it. I'm glad to have gotten a pair. The only personalized gloves I have, these Pro FM Aquas All Sports. This is an unbelievable glove, latex for wet weather, and I like the backhand a lot because it's not absorbent, doesn't carry a lot of water. But it turned out I'm not really comfortable with my own name on my gloves. That's for some people. It's not really for me, I guess. Although it does help if someone tries to nick your gloves. Speaking of name on the gloves, my buddy Jamie Stevens gave me a pair of his aviators to try out, and I really liked them. Got some HOs that have lasted well. Again, these are, wow, I mean, look at the wear. I really, there was a time, probably 3 straight months, where I wore these every game, every training session, because I just had a good feeling from them. And so they take a lot of abrasion and wear, but the latex is still soft, and I could still wear them if I had to. Really loved the CellSport Phantom, this generation of CellSport. I think that a lot of goalkeepers my age or a little younger have very fond memories of CellSport when they went with the high groove backhand. And hey, CellSport, I think all of us are sort of hoping to see that again at some point. And there's a pair of classic Raptors over there. Some more HOs. I'm not a big finger protection guy. I've only got one current pair. These All Sports here, and I just keep those around in the event that at some point I've got a little finger injury and need a little more secure feeling in the glove. Some CellSport Aquas there in the middle. That's about it. Pro Iberia was a brand started by a friend of mine. He sent me several gloves to test. I really liked the brand. He stayed in business quite a few years and even had his gloves worn by Jimmy Nielsen of Sporting KC when they won MLS Cup. Again, as someone who wants to start a glove brand, you've really got to be in it for the love. There's not going to be any money. You're actually going to end up going out of pocket, almost guaranteed, and it has to be worth the labor for Pro Iberia. It really was, but you can only do it. You can only go out of pocket for so long. That's it. Anybody have an interesting glove collection? Why don't you make a video? It's always fun to see what other people have and what they're wearing and what they've decided to hold on to. One of the reasons I hold on to these gloves is that I really regret not keeping some of the gloves from my actual youth, so like the first generations of all these here, the classic All Sports. And I'm not going to make that mistake again. I want to remember, if you're a goalkeeper, that you have a lot of memories tied up in the gloves you choose to wear. And I'm going to be an old man fairly soon, and I want to have these things. Hope you enjoy, guys. Say bye to Bryce.